All right, it's Friday, October 31st, just following up on the SPY. You can see here after buying calls on this lower open, we did eventually get our red to green move. We're starting up now to take out the highs of the day up here. So I just scaled out of those options. I bought the 675 calls at 11.28, as I described in the first video. Just scaled out at 12.25. They're up to 12.36 right now. So it's all at no risk to see if we get through the highs of the day. Again, it was a little bit of a unique trade for me in the sense that you could have waited for this green bar to form and then bought it right here for the push to the highs of the day. It would have worked out. I was more aggressive and just wanted to jump in, I think, around bar 2. And again, it's more the context that I've been describing all week that just kind of gave me the the high probability that we would get a red to green move. More importantly, most importantly, I discussed how yesterday, if after that kind of move, well, if you look at the 15-minute chart, after it moved lower towards the end of the day, I said if this move, was going to pull back sharper into this gap, we would have probably, gapped lower. But today we gapped above the midpoint of the prior day. And I watched a lot of stocks that were strong. I described how Coinbase was strong and Netflix was strong. I was actually trading Tesla on a good trade today, and Qualcomm, to the upside as well. So, with that in mind, and above the midpoint of the prior day, and just watching it hesitate here, I anticipated a red to green move on the SPY. And if even if you didn't trade any of those other stocks, it was the type of thing above the midpoint of the prior day, you're kind of waiting for this move here, and then you could have bought it here, and we're heading higher. So anyway, no risk right now. Let's see if we get above that high of the day. If so, then you got the pre-market highs as a target, and we're going to see on the now that we're kind of a 2-up day, can we really close strongly and start moving back up to those highs? And we'll see by the end of the day how that weekly chart ends up. If it stays nice and green, then you can almost expect follow through higher into next week. And we kind of know now the context going into next week that we need a 2 down bar, to start filling in more of this gap. So we'll keep that low of yesterday in mind going into next week. But as long as, that doesn't break down, green, all-time highs. And, interesting how this week developed here, that it started up a little bit, try to pull back, but we might end up, just staying with the trend and heading higher. So anyway, good trade here this morning, a little bit aggressive on it, but when you kind of knew the context and you watched a bunch of other stocks, pretty high probability to me it was going to have some kind of a red to green move this morning. But now we have to see if we get through the highs of the day and can kind of hit that pre-market high target up here.